Henry Sweets and Melissa Cummins from the Mark Twain Boyhood Home and Museum are here. Henry, Melissa, good morning.
Good morning to you.
And there are always things going on at the Boyhood Home and Museum. And of course, with the turning of the calendar, fall and winter is the focus as far as the Boyhood Home and Museum.
Well, yes, we're pretty much finished with our summer season. Once school begins, that slows our traffic to Hannibal down for a while. We will pick up again in another couple of weeks with the fall foliage bringing people out, and we'll begin to get more bus tours of senior citizens who are on their way down to perhaps the Ozarks or down to the Branson area that stop through Hannibal. So we will be picking up again, but the traffic that we've been having in terms of the family groups and so on, obviously school takes a big hit.
Of course. And of course, we always like to mention, and I suppose this would be a good time to do that, if maybe some of the local folks have been thinking, well, we'll just kind of wait for things to die down before we come or bring people or whatever. And of course, we always want to make sure the folks know that anybody from Hannibal gets in for free.
That's right. Hannibal residents do have free admission to the museum properties, so come on down anytime. And like Henry said, it is a little bit slower right now. It'd be a wonderful time to bring the family down. The museum gallery down at 120 North Main has wonderful interactive exhibits. I know I have a 10-year-old who absolutely loves to go down there and play around.
Yes, yeah, that's and the stories, not only the exhibits in the museum, but I mean, you talk about timeless for all ages. I mean, that's Mark Twain.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. And we still have our presentations with Jim and Gladys going on through the end of October. So it's almost over with that. So if you haven't had the opportunity to come down and watch one of those presentations, you need to come down this month before that's, it won't start up again until next year.
Yeah. Jim Waddell, Gladys Cogswell. I mean, if you have not seen those folks perform, you need to do that because it's a treat.
It is. It is.
Yeah. First thing I have on my notes here, we talked about this a long time ago, but apparently now there is something a little closer on the horizon as far as the Hal Holbrook movie.
Yes, Harold. Hal Holbrook, of course, is now in his 60th year of performing as Mark Twain.
That's, of course, the line is that he has portrayed Mark Twain longer than Sam Clemens portrayed Mark Twain.
He has indeed. And to mark such an event, a documentary film has been produced, which is titled Holbrook/Twain, An American Odyssey. And this tells the story of this long journey that Hal Holbrook has made as Mark Twain. This will be released to movie theaters sometime next spring. But we've been able to arrange an advance showing of the film, and this is the completed film. This isn't just excerpts or working copy for that. And on October 25th, a Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we're going to have that showing out at the Hannibal LaGrange University's Parker Theater. Oh. And we're in the negotiating process right now to have one of the producers of the film here to talk about the project before we see the film, then to answer questions after the film is shown. Excellent. So there will be more details coming out on that. We're going to be charging $12.50 a ticket to come to that event as a fundraiser for the museum, and that'll go into our endowment fund. So we thought that would be a way to help build the perpetual upkeep of the museum with this particular showing. So stay tuned for more details on that, but we're looking at October 25th for that special showing of the documentary.
So folks need to mark that on their calendar, October the 25th for that.
Correct.
Yes. So, and there'll be a lot more information forthcoming on that between now and then. Mm-hmm. That's an exciting possibility that not just possibility, the date is set. It's going to happen. So,
right. And when we take a look at that career that he had, the first time that I saw Hal Holbrook perform his show was when I was over at the University of Illinois in 1969. And in the middle of the Vietnam conflict, he was definitely had a war theme in his message. And that's what's been so tremendous through the years, that he has such a wealth of Mark Twain material committed to his memory that he can pull out, that he's very current with whatever's going on at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Mark Twain had such, of course, had such a great body of work between speeches and writings and short stories and all of the rest. And he was so topical in his time. And of course, that teaches us that things really don't change all that much as the centuries go
I
by.
think he's still relevant today.
Absolutely. Well, I know Mr. Gary has come through here, and when people have approached him after a performance of his, and they have said, "When did you write that material?" And they will tell him, "I didn't write that material. Mark Twain wrote that material over 100 years ago."
Well, the key there is that Mark Twain was a very good observer and reporter. And what he observed was human nature. And that doesn't change all that much.
No.
So when he addresses these issues, he's really addressing the way that people respond to the different issues. And unfortunately or fortunately, that doesn't change a lot with time.
Yeah, for better or for worse. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, us human animals. He had a lot to say about that, of course. Some events coming up as we work our way into the fall and beyond coming up in the life of the museum.
That's right, Harold. You said earlier there's always something to see and do at the museum, and we have lots of programs scheduled through the fall and the winter. In conjunction with the Hannibal Historic Marketing Committee, a lot of downtown businesses are going to be hosting some events, and the museum will as well. On Saturday, November 29th, it's going to be Small Business Saturday. So you need to come on down, downtown Hannibal, support the small businesses down here in Hannibal. The museum will have a program at 2 p.m. in the gallery, and it's going to be tea and scones and Downton Abbey type of theme. It'll be really interesting. There'll be a presentation with that as well, and that'll be free to the public. We also have in December, we have 3 weekends in a row that there's going to be something going on downtown Hannibal. The Hannibal Christmas Parade is December the 6th, and we're going to be having Rolling with the Punches. Downtown
Okay,
businesses.
you got all I saw was that title. You got to explain that.
Rolling with the Punches. Well, there will be different punches provided at different businesses downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
can stop by, have a little drink. The museum is going to be hosting a children's program around 3 p.m. Preceding the parade, so you'll have to come down. We'll be showing a movie at the auditorium there in the museum, so we'll have something for the kids to do before the parade. And then on December 13th, there's Living Windows.
Yes.
And that's a tradition here in Hannibal, Missouri. If you haven't been down and seen Living Windows, you need to come downtown. It's a wonderful event. There's carolers. The museum will be hosting a program as well. Henry might want to talk about this. He's going to be doing a presentation.
Yeah. That afternoon on December 13th, we have, for the last several years, had a program that people have really enjoyed that begins with a look at Christmas and Christmas customs in Hannibal in the 1840s and 50s. From there, we fast forward to the Clemenses living in their big house in Hartford, Connecticut, and what Christmas was like in the Clemens household there. Mark Twain enters into this by one year, something that happens many times, and many parents will be familiar with this, that a child wants something for Christmas that can't be found. Mm-hmm. And this happened in the Clemens household. So Mark Twain sat down and wrote a letter to his daughter Susie explaining why the object she wanted wasn't going to be found on Christmas morning, and wrote the letter over the name of Santa Claus. Yes. And Gladys Cogswell reads that letter, which is a very amusing and interesting insight into the Clemens family and what was expected in the household. So we end up with singing a couple of the traditional Christmas hymns. And I think people just go away with a deeper appreciation for the past celebrations of Christmas.
Yes. So again, all of these things coming up, folks need to mark on their calendars. But for now, of course, all of the displays, all of the good things going on at the museum every day.
That's right. And we have, I know Halloween's around the corner.
Yes.
If you have kids, you know Halloween's around the corner. We have some wonderful Halloween decorations in the gift shops that are available too. So you need to stop by and check that out too. And then also going back to the Hal Holbrook film, if you're interested in that, you can contact the museum for tickets. You can contact 221-9010 extension 401 to reserve your ticket for that.
And that's a good number to call for if you need any kind of information.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And, of course, the website as well.
Yeah, www.marktwainmuseum.org.
A lot of ways to find out all of the good things going on in the life of the Mark Twain Boyhood Home and Museum. Henry Sweets, Melissa Cummins, we always appreciate the visit.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harold.